Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopefully elect. So we're going to get right into it. The world is changing, and it's changing fast. These devils, the powers that be, Esau, Edom, they're about to roll out the MOTB very soon. And by soon, I mean within the next year. Okay? So with this right here, you have the EU that starting in September, they're going to be rolling out V cards, all right, dealing with that juice that they rolled out back in 2021. So they got a pilot program going on in these EU nations that is prepping to pretty much mandate that people get the V's due to these diseases that are coming about that we know that these Edomites are creating in the lab and releasing out into the public. So due to all of what's going on in the earth, this is that order out of chaos. All right, they create the chaos, then they bring the order. So Esau, he's getting ready to come down with his draconian decrees. All right, you're going to see lockdowns. And these are things that we always speak on. You're going to see lockdowns. All right, you're going to be seeing 15-minute cities. You're not going to be able to work if you don't have this thing. All right, you're pretty much not going to be able to do anything unless you have this V card. So we know this is a precursor to the MOTB. This is exactly how what it's going to be when that charagma is rolled out. Okay, so let's check out this TikTok. Got a few articles as well with precepts, and we'll close out. This will be a short lesson, Lord willing.
European vaccination card will soon be piloted in Latvia, Greece, Belgium, Germany and Portugal, starting in September. This initiative by the EUVABECO project aims to improve vaccination management by consolidating all vaccination data in one accessible location. The EVC will be available in printed and digital formats, making it easier for individuals to transfer and present their vaccination records. This innovation is part of Europe's effort to strengthen health resilience and preparedness for future health threats. Let us know down in the comments what you think about sharing our private vaccination data across the world. Is it a good thing or is it a bad thing? Join us on charlieward.com.
Yeah, so this thing is upon us, man. Okay? So here we go. 5 countries will be testing Europe's new V card. 5 European Union countries are set to pilot the newly developed European V card, or the EVC, next month. September pilot program marks a step toward the continent-wide rollout of the card, according to V's Today. Belgium, Greece, Germany, Latvia, and Portugal will be testing the new card in a variety of formats, including printed cards, mail copies, and digital versions for smartphones. So they're trying to get people used to, really they're trying to appeal to all demographics, okay? Because they want everybody to take this thing. And pursuant to Revelation, the 13th chapter, what? He calls us all, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, right? So all people need to get on board with this thing. So for those people that may be older, they may not be that tech savvy like that, they're going to have the printed cards, okay? Then people are going to have mail copies, and really for the younger demographic, since everything is done through the phone, they're going to have the digital version. You see, but eventually everybody going to have to take the insertable charagma, that device under the skin. That's the ultimate goal. And you've had WEF insiders come out and tell you just that. They actually said that the charagma was ready back in 2015, but they postponed it. All right. So now, they're at a critical junction to where Esau sees that his society is crumbling. So this is going to be his last ditch attempt, his last effort to hold on to power. All right. And that's by pretty much enslaving humanity under this digital system. Okay. And, all these things are coming down from the world economic forum, you see. And they've infiltrated these Western governments of these nations. And all of them are getting the same order. This is why you're seeing these things happen in South America. It's happening in North America. It's happening in Europe, the Middle East, Africa. It's happening all over the earth, man, because this is a last ditch effort to create this NWO. It says, let me jump down. While the objectives of the program set to be implemented throughout the EU by 2026, and really, they're going to do this by 2025. They're talking about 2026, but they know they don't have that much time because they see what's going on. But really, by next year, this thing going to be rolled out full-fledged. It's going to be a very different world in 2025 compared to what you have right now. Appear benign, critics argue the EVC is a stepping stone for mandatory Vs in the future. Yeah. So this, EVC, this is a stepping stone for the MOTB. Okay. And notice how they put the word mandatory in there, because eventually you're going to have to get it. All right. Now, he's not going to force you to get it, but he's going to cause you to get it. Because like I said, you're not going to be able to function in society unless you have this thing. Unless you have this certain device, you're not going to be able to pretty much live. All right. You're not going to be able to pay rent. You're not going to be able to put gas in your car. You ain't going to be able to eat, work, do nothing. They're going to completely shut you off unless you get down with the Beats program. See, so this is a stepping stone for eventually what will become that mandatory MOTB. You're going to say you must have this or else, right? Some also argue the EVC is connected to large financial interests and plans to limit personal and national sovereignty. The plan is to get everybody V'd. It says here, you get a digital ID where all your V records are stored. All your personal details are stored in one place, and you can move it easily from one country to another without having to redo or reapply. So basically, it's about a digital ID and then a link from your personal ID to your medical records on V, she said. All right, so you see where this is going. You see that right now, this is a digital thing. But as we continue to tell you, very soon after this, it's going to be a physical thing where they're going to want to put a chip inside of your brain, which is the Neuralink, or people going to take it in their right or left hand. And mind you, people already have these devices inserted into them. All right, but it's only a matter of time. This is inevitable. This is biblical prophecy that's taking place. And all roads lead to the MOTB. That's why, as we just read, this is a stepping stone, man. Okay, but first it's going to be that digital ID. And it's going to contain what? It's going to contain all your, V records, okay? And it's going to have everything, all your personal details, everything about you is going to be on that digital ID. And the digital ID is going to be aligned with the CBDC as well as the chip, okay? So all these things are going to work together. See, so this is the system that the devil wants. See, he wants to know everything about you. He wants to know what you're thinking. He wants to know, pretty much everything about you. And he's going to do that by being inside of you. Okay. Yeah, they talk about that V passport as well. Yeah, so pretty much, look, you're not going to be able to fly nowhere, drive anywhere, unless you got that V card, unless you got that V passport. This is what it's all about. So, Esau, he's definitely, bringing bringing that squeeze, man, to where people are gonna feel like they have to get this. You know what I'm saying? Because pretty much their life in this world is gonna be over unless they, Salakia, get down with that program, man. So this is Isaiah 10:1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness, which they have prescribed. So these decrees, right? Esau has decreed that by 2025, I'm going to roll out a digital ID, all right? Esau is going to decree that you have to get the MOTB, or else, you're not going to be able to eat. You ain't going to be able to live, feed your family, nothing. All right, so he wants you to be completely dependent upon him. All right, but the tabernacle of David, all right, the hopefully elect, we depend on Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, the scriptures say that man live not by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, so we don't, once Esau cuts off the bread, guess what? We're going to live by our faith. All right, as it is written, the just shall live by his faith. So this is a time where our faith is going to have to be tested, but the devil, he is coming with those unrighteous decrees. These decrees that he's talking about are unrighteous things. All right, he's talking about coming in and taking people's firearms. He's talking about locking you up for speaking against the NWO. He's talking about putting people to death. All right, speak out against the mainstream narrative. All right, so all these things are unrighteous, man. And this is coming from who? It's coming from Esau, the wicked that rules over the earth. See? So this man got to go, all right? But, seeing these things, this is not for us to, be afraid, but for us to look up and know that our redemption, our salvation is near at the door, even nearer than when we believe. All right, because the harder that this man push, the closer that we are to him getting judged and to the kingdom of heaven being set up on the earth. Okay, this is really could start at the top, but let's just jump down. Revelation 13 and verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And those two horns represent the Democratic and Republican Party of this beast system, of this Babylonian system. All right, and he spake as a dragon. Okay, when you go back to Draco, that actually goes back to dragon. All right, when you go back to Draco, which is the root of Draconian, and he was an actual Athenian lawgiver, all right, back in ancient Greece, and he pretty much prescribed death for every crime. All right, so there was no mercy under the law of Draco. All right, pretty much if you went against the given law that was outlined, which a lot of those laws were BS anyway. All right, but if you went against that, then death was prescribed. Well, the same thing is coming back today. And this is how you know that the same people are in charge, because who ruled over ancient Greece? It was the Edomites. All right, Draco was an Edomite. So these harsh draconian decrees are coming down once again. This is this man speaking as a dragon, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, which who was the first beast before him? It was ancient Rome, okay, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed, the Western Roman Empire, okay, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And that happened when this devil dropped him 2 atomic nuclear bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. All right, and the whole of the earth after that was in fear. This man performed a great miracle, making fire come down from heaven and instantly incinerating everything in the vicinity. Okay, and Esau, he's going to deceive a lot of people by these things, man. See, but the point is, this thing is coming. All right, this thing is no joke, man. it's not a coincidence that they continue to talk about this thing. They continue to push it as a peace and safety measure, because ultimately this is going to be a solution to the chaos that is going to be happening in these Western nations. All right, so we can go here and close out. All right, Perry Stone, which is an Edomite pastor, all right, gives urgent warning regarding possible attack on the power grid. Now, this is another thing we've been hearing about recently, that the power is going to go out before the election. And when you go back to the movie Leave the World Behind, what happened? There was an entire East Coast blackout. You see what I'm saying? So they put these things in the movies known as the revelation of the method, where they show you what they're going to do before they do it so that they can relieve themselves of guilt. All right. But these things are going to happen, man. Like, they don't put these things in the movies for no reason. All right. Esau talks to you through his cinema. All right. So this Edomite pastor, he's speaking on it. And it says, in a recent video, Perry Stone released an urgent warning about inside information he has received. And that's one thing about these Edomites. Like, a lot of these Edomites, they know what's going on more than you Jakes, because they have inside information. All right. They have family. They got friends that are, in police departments, or they're in the CIA, or, they're in these certain government organizations, and information gets leaked. So they be the first ones to have, this type of information, man. So when they come out and tell you these things, this is for us to take these things seriously, because we know that this devil, according to the scriptures, has sinister intentions for the whole of the planet Earth. But this blackout that's coming, this is going to be one thing that's going to add to the chaos and the tribulation. Then he's going to bring his solution, all right, which we know what that is. So we'll check out a small portion of this video just to get the point, and we'll close out. Let me go back a little bit. Start at right
name, but they have been keeping up with what is being said on it. The recent cyber failure, this may surprise you. We get up one morning, and by the way, this happened at the conclusion of the Republican convention in Wisconsin. It was the next day, when all of a sudden, nothing is working. I mean, people are trying to get out, they're going to the airport, and everybody is suddenly stuck because there was a cyber failure. A cyber company called CloudStrike was doing an update on its antivirus software, and something glitched and went wrong. So there were these massive IT tech outages on July 19th, and some of them actually continued for a couple days, and people had to do all sorts of things. The man that was driving me around, lives here in Cleveland, Tennessee, and he works with a huge company, and they were having to go and actually dump files and do all kinds of things just to get their computers up and going. There was complete travel chaos. There were 5,000 flights grounded. There were banks that could not operate. There were gas stations that could not take credit cards. There were hotels that if you were going to check out, were asking people you have to pay in cash because we cannot access your credit card, and you're not going to be able to leave till we can know that your credit card information is cleared. It was an absolute mess. It took some of my friends 3 days to actually get back home through the delays in the flights, etc. Here's what I've got to tell you, though. The information I'm giving you has come out of the dark web. So to protect this man, I will never tell you what state he's in, what city he's in, or who he is. He said to me personally, sitting at a table, 2 weeks before the CloudStrike antivirus software failed and caused all of these delays, there was a warning on the dark web to avoid traveling around that time frame because all the majority of planes would be grounded. Well, when he read this, it came from an individual that keeps up with certain things that normally is correct in their information. So he went to some people that were getting ready to travel and said, you do not need to travel on that day. Go earlier, go a couple of days later, but there's going to be a mess that day. And sure enough, exactly as it was predicted in that statement on the dark web, it happened. Now, how did they know that was going to happen would be my question. This company says it was a glitch. It was something that happened, and people were talking viruses.
And that's all BS, all right? Because they'll come out and tell you after these events happen as damage control and tell you, oh, this was a glitch. We were just updating the system. But in reality, these things were planned all along, all right? So they just tell the people all this BS, these narratives, right? But those that are in the know what's really going on. As you hear them telling you, these things were circulating, warnings were circulating on the dark web, all right, weeks before this event even took place. And that whole cloud strike outage, that was a test run for the real thing that's going to happen. And as you heard him say, banks were out, airports, planes were grounded, flights were delayed. All right, people at their jobs, couldn't really do anything like that because of the outage, man. You see? So this thing is about to get real. It's about to get intense. And just like how Perry Stone is telling you, man, these things were known weeks. Well, guess what? The men of the Lord have been telling you for decades that, these days would come, and we're here.
Or hackers
Right,
and
let's
all that
continue.
kind of thing. But how did they know that someone was going to hit this button and it was going to mess up these systems? Now, I'm not a computer expert, so I'm not going into the depth of trying to explain this. Other people on the internet can do that for you. So here's what I want to say. I said, well, what else have you learned? He said, well, the same person who reported that, and it was accurate 2 weeks later, has said the next attack, now everybody pay attention, is going to be the power grid in the United States. Now, the United States has 7,300 power plants. We have 160,000 miles of high voltage lines. We have millions and millions of miles of low voltage lines connecting 145 million customers, all right? Last year, there was 163 different forms of cyber attacks. Many of them, of course, are stopped and prevented. Some of them kind of get through very temporarily, but 163 just last year. The U.S. grid, and I've seen many articles on this, is extremely vulnerable to cyber attacks. So here is the information. I'm just going to...
And didn't your man Klaus tell you years ago that the world must prepare for a comprehensive cyber attack? It's going to pretty much shut out the grid. Brothers have done many lessons on that, man. So look, the point is, this is the time where these things are going to come forth, and there is no stopping it, because ultimately this is the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. All right, we just here to give you the warning, all right, and tell you the solution, which is to repent, return back to the Heavenly Father, all right, get a relationship with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai so that you can be kept from these things that are going to come, because there is no stopping it, but you want to be in the good graces of the Lord when these things do occur. All right, you don't want evil to come to you in these times, you see? So this is why you should be moving with a sense of urgency. But look, man, everyone is on edge. People know that stuff is about to get critical going into this election season, going into 2025. All right, so things are already turning up and set to get much worse.
Throw this out there. Hopefully it doesn't happen. I don't want this to happen. This would not be good to any place that is affected by it, especially if it's the entire United States. Because you've got to remember, if there's an attack that takes place on the power grid, gas pumps don't work, credit cards don't work, your electricity don't work, your television doesn't work, your computer battery runs out, your phone battery runs out. You could be at a crisis level within 24 to 48 hours and panic with people as well, if they know it's the grid. However, this person has stated from his information, there will be an attack coming somewhere between August to the election. And that there is a belief, I'll not name the country, they have over 1 billion people in population, and you can figure it out, that they may want to do this before the elections to disrupt the American presidential elections. Of course, how can you vote when there's no electricity in the building, when the voting machines have to be plugged in? All this kind of stuff comes into play, computers, etc. So it's complete. It would be a chaos. And people are talking about an October surprise. Maybe this is the October surprise. I don't know. Now, you may be watching this in 2025 and it's old news. If it is, just pass it up. But it will happen some point. If it doesn't happen this year, this is absolutely going to happen. So this is the word I want to give to you. You have to sit and ask yourself, how would my family, my grandbabies and I survive if we had to go 2 to 3 weeks without electricity? Because it's very possible.
Put your faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. That's it. That's all. That's really all that you can do now. It is wise, to get certain supplies while they're available. All right, go to the dollar store, get you some candles, get you some, non-perishable food items that can last a while. All right, but that's not going to save you though. All right, ultimately, the Lord got to be dealing with you for you to make it through these times. That's really the point. All right, but also use wisdom. All right, be circumspect as well. Going into these evil days, man. All right, but the message is to repent or die. All right, you have worldly people telling you what's coming, and you have the men of the Lord telling you as well. So when these things come down and you get caught with your proverbial pants down, that's going to be on you. See, so I'm going to go ahead and close out here. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying through the Rakah Kadash. Call Elohim La Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, Shalom to the elect, Kom Yasha'Allah, and a Bible ball. Shalom.